Hi, my name is Helen Schwartz, and welcome to Absolutely Orchids. Now, we've learned a lot, but we need to see a few of these repotting procedures. And to do this, I have my dear, dear friend, whom without I would not have made this program. She's been my backbone and my strength, Louise Poo. Come on. All right, she's going to be the one that's going to do the potting. I'm going to teach her, and you're going to see how it's done, right?
I need help.
You need help, I know you do. This poor little thing is what she brought me in the pot, so we're going to do something with it. Now, you see how bad it looks? Well, wait till you see when we get it finished.
I'm ashamed.
The first thing we do is what? Get some newspapers.
Newspapers. Always
work on newspaper. That way all of your debris can be folded up and thrown in the trash can. Okay? Got that? A little more. Come on, don't be stingy. More papers, right.
You're going to be messy too?
Yeah, there you go. Plenty of newspapers. All right, now, we have taken, let's get this out of the way then. We've taken some basic potting mix. There's some pumice stone, some lava rock, a little bit of aerolite in there. And I'd like to add a little bit of sphagnum moss in here just to kind of make it a little bit more receptive to the moisture, and maybe even a little bit of the soilless mix that we talked about. Yeah, and then we'll take this and just mix it around. If you have a problem getting your hands dirty, don't grow orchids. I have no fingernails either, see that? Okay, all right. So this is going to be a nice mixture. This will be enough to do 2 or 3 plants. Okay, let's put this over here out of the way. Okay, Louise, let's get this thing out of the pot now.
Poor thing.
First thing you want to decide is, do you want to make this one plant and put it into a large, large pot, or do we want to divide it? Well, that kind of goes by, you see this here, the middle is probably pretty well destroyed, so we won't be able to do a big specimen on this. What we're going to do is we're going to take it out and cut it. Okay, Louise, let's see you do it.
I have to take it out?
Absolutely, sweetheart.
I thought you were going to show me how.
No, I want to see you do it.
All right, well, what about all the roots on the pot?
Don't be afraid of the roots. The only roots that are important, you see right here at the base, you got some nice new roots coming out with little green tips. Those are the only ones that are really important. Okay, so now let's take the plant out.
You want me to do it for you? Just do it with my hand, or?
Just don't be afraid of it. Just pull it out. Oh. See here? See, we're not afraid. Okay.
I'm afraid.
No.
Well, I'm not going to be after today.
Okay, right. So now the plant is out of the pot, okay? If you have a plant like that in a clay pot, I recommend that you just break the pot. Just take a hammer and smash it. Okay, now we have this into one large plant, but actually, you see, it's already divided itself. So obviously, it wanted to be divided. Okay. Don't be afraid. That's the most important thing you have to learn, is don't be afraid. When we collected these things in the jungle, we take them, we clean them up real good, throw them in a sack, and carry them around for 2 or 3 weeks at a time, and nothing ever happened to them. So they're very hardy. And you have, now this here, we won't plant this because we're not even sure that it has any viable eyes. But we won't throw it away either, because we know if it's in the garbage, it's certainly not going to grow. So we're going to give it a chance. After we get through, I'll show you what to do with that right there. This is going to make one size plant, I guess. And here, let's see what this one looks like. Yeah, I think we can get a plant out of that too. Okay, get your clippers out. We're going to give this plant a good haircut. Remember what I told you? Right, don't be afraid now. All the roots that look like they're dead, the only ones that are really important are these little green ones, these green tip ones that are coming out, see? So just clip it good. Okay, give it a good haircut. All right. All the weeds that are in there, clean them out. Okay. Clean all the old bloom spikes out. Now, what is this? Do you know what this is?
It's a bad leaf.
Well, but why is it a bad leaf?
I don't know.
Well, it's probably some mechanical damage and some cold.
What do you mean by mechanical?
Something has touched it that shouldn't. Something cool, like a wire or something. In this case here, if this was very soft and it had an odor to it, then it would probably be black rot. But in this case, it's not. It's hard, so it's all right. You don't have to worry about it. Okay, nothing on here looks like it's disease. I don't see any insects. We did at one time have scale on here. Do you see these little yellow marks?
You mean this here where
Yeah,
it's paler?
exactly, with a pale. That means a scale was on the back sucking out the nutrients from this leaf, but I don't see any on the back there now, so I guess it's all right. Okay. Now we need to clean this. Okay. We want to get all these old skins off for two reasons. One is because it looks nicer, and two, because this is where your bugs hide. And then if it's going to start getting a disease, how are you going to see it if it's covered up?
So all of the sheaths come out? All of these?
Yes, then we're going to use this hose. Let's see, let's get this out of the way here.
If you don't like to get wet, you shouldn't grow orchids either.
That's right. Okay. Now you see there? See the difference? And take whatever's left on here, and then we could use a toothbrush, very soft toothbrush, so you don't cut the tissue, and get all this old stuff off here.
Should you put anything on the toothbrush?
Nope. Okay. If it's this tough on here, you can leave it. If it's hard to get off.
That's a new leaf.
This is not a leaf. This is
a new.
This is just the skin on the bulb.
See
This is
scale
a
under there.
pseudobulb. See, we found a bit of scale over here, so that was really good that we took that off. Okay, now, so we'll clean that off. Okay. Okay, there's very little for us to cut on this.
Now,
here.
after I trimmed these roots, this one looks like it's
It's actually
separated
not
also.
attaching,
No.
right? We'll put it back with the other little
Here,
one.
I have it over here, out
Okay.
of your way.
Okay. All right.
Another separate piece.
Yes. Here's another little thing. If you cut these off, you don't have to treat it. There's a chemical that the plant puts out that
You mean this old flower?
they don't have to be treated when they're cut.
All right, so I just cut this
Cut
off?
them off and don't worry about it, right? Because the plant expects that to fall off, so it doesn't. It provides for that.
I think you have better clippers.
Now, don't you think? I think we should take that off.
Let me have, here, cut mine too.
And let's just do it this way. See here? It looks so bad that
Can I
way.
cut?
You haven't got a scissors?
Well, it didn't want to clip.
Oh, goodness. Okay,
Maybe
we'll
you
use
can do it.
So take the plant and cut it this way so that it has a more aesthetic look to it. You see how we did that? It almost is the same as the regular plant. Much better than the other way. And this is pretty nasty looking, isn't it?
Mm.
So let's take this.
Now, what caused that?
That looked like it might actually have started to have some sunburn. Okay, so that's cut off there. Now, normally what we would do, the best thing is just to mix a little bit of a very mild solution of bleach and just soak the plant in there. But since we're not going to do that, we'll treat where we
You would
cut.
soak the whole plant?
The whole plant for about 2-3 minutes.
What percentage bleach?
About 15%. Okay.
Now, where you pulled apart the plants, we
It
don't
was already
have to?
apart. It was already apart. We didn't do it. We didn't cut it. But had we cut it, had we taken and cut the rhizome right here or right here, then
If
we
you were
would have had-
dividing
yes,
the
right,
rhizomes.
exactly. Okay, so now this one looks like it's no scale in here. Louise, I'm ashamed of you. I tell you, you were my
I told
best
you I
friend.
needed help.
You were my best friend, but you have no longer. I know, you better be. Okay.
But they're very forgiving.
Yes, it's a good thing too. All right, this looks pretty good now.
I'll do better, I promise.
Okay. If you soak this in the bleach water, that probably would have taken care of any of the scale too. So.
Oh, okay.
And we're ready for this plant. Now, how do we know what size pot to use? Okay, well we have several sizes here. Let's just look at them. This we know is way too small. And this is kind of small too. Now this is getting closer to size. Okay, so how do we decide? If you'll check the distance between this bulb and this bulb, there's a rhizome. You know that it's going to grow in 1 year's time that length. Okay? So what you want to do is you want to give the plant enough room to grow for at least a year and a half.
So I have to repot it again in a year?
Probably a year and a half. Don't want when the media looks like it's going to break down. So we take the plant where it broke. You see here, back here? Okay, now where this plant broke, and besides, incidentally, what is this anyway?
It's a cattleya.
Thank you. Okay, so if we put this as close to the back as possible, because we know that it's going to grow in this direction.
Okay.
And we know that for two reasons. One is because it broke back here, and normally it grows in the frontward direction. And also because if you look here, the eye is already beginning to expand. See that? So we put it in. We know this is going to be the right size pot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's leave it now. We have a couple little things to do. All right. Let's do the other portion here of that one. Now I'm going to let you take care of this one. Here's your toothbrush, clippers. I want you to clean it up good. Let's change places here. Okay.
Okay.
Watch
How do you
now.
turn on your thing here?
You just turn this little knob here. Be careful. You don't want to get the water outside this
Well, you got me wet.
bucket. Well, that's all right.
I can't get you wet.
No.
All right. Pretty strong spray of your water you want, huh? Whoops,
You want to get those things,
Is that
the
all?
mold cleaned off?
Yeah, pretty.
Yeah, it's off enough. Okay.
It's not off.
Let me see.
I'll have to use a brush
You
on
want
it.
to use a brush on it now? All right, go ahead.
Touch the wire.
Okay.
Can we turn the water off the rest of the
I'll
way?
take the hose away. Go ahead.
Thank you.
All right. Okay. Use your fingers too.
Okay. It's a little easier probably outside to
It's much easier
spray.
to do it outside.
You want to get all the media out from around the roots too when you do that, right?
Absolutely. But you've done that when you cut it, huh?
Right, yeah. Most of it.
Most of it.
Oh, I think I see a little scale down in there.
You scaled?
A little bit.
Okay.
It's going to be so happy, this plant.
I know.
Hasn't had it so good in a long time.
Okay, while we're doing that, let's just trim this a little bit and make it look nicer.
Okay. Now that's your,
That's your fungicide.
Fungicide.
But you can use anything. Put a little peroxide in there, anything you want.
okay, it looks pretty good.
Yeah. Okay, now see if you can tell me what size pot you're going to use for this. Get
Okay.
the pots over here in front so we can both look together. Good girl. Okay. Now, what do you think?
Well, first I'm trying to see where it's going to grow from. This one looks a little bit confused.
If you're not sure,
Here?
look at the largest new growth, because generally what happens is the older growths are smaller, and as it grows, the newer growths are bigger. So see if you
this
can.
one?
Yeah, that looks to me like that
Over
might
here.
be the next one, right? Okay.
And what if it doesn't have an eye that you can see?
There's eyes on every single bulb here. If that one doesn't grow, another one will.
Okay. So I put it to this side of the pot.
Yeah.
So this would be too big.
Well, yeah, probably.
Not a little small.
Yeah, let's try that right there. That one looks like it. Okay,
one's just
now
right.
stick it there. Just put them both in the same pot here. Okay. Now we have labels, right?
Yes.
Okay. So we took this label off the one plant. And we have these other two little pieces, right?
Yes.
And we don't know if they're going to live. Now, if they don't live, well, we haven't lost anything. But if they
But
do,
we should label it.
we have to know what they are. So you're going to make three more labels.
Three more labels.
Right, okay. All right, go ahead and do your labels. BLC Edwin Chong. Okay. So now, okay.
And that's my number 2 pencil.
Yes. Okay, let's see what you're going to do now.
Peanuts.
Exactly. Now, how many peanuts are you going to use in there?
I have a lot of air moving.
Well, not only
And I
that,
water
but you
kind
can
of
also
often.
you can also
And I'm using clay.
control the amount of water that your plant gets by how many peanuts you use. So in your cattleya, since they don't really like to have wet roots, I'd put about at least half the pot full of peanuts.
Okay.
And I'd like to mention again that if you're going to use these plastic peanuts, they're using a biodegradable kind. They're made of starch. And until you're sure what it is, soak it in water for about an hour. If it doesn't dissolve, then you can use it in your plants.
So that's about right?
Well,
A little more?
yeah, a little more. About like that. Okay.
Okay.
All right, now, here's our media right here, okay?
Now I just sit the plant with the growing side with the room.
Right, and sit it so that this rhizome is above the growing media. If you cover that rhizome, you'll rot the plant.
Okay.
So hold it up with one hand so that it's level with the lip of the pot.
Okay.
And then just fill in around it. Good, good. Keep going. You want the plant to be immobile while it's setting out new roots.
It's important for it not to move around.
Yeah,
How is that?
a little bit more.
About the right height,
Yeah,
so it's coming.
Yeah, the height's good. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Now we want to take
Keep
this.
it holding still,
Yeah.
right?
Let's take this. This is a rhizome clip, and it goes across the rhizome of the plant to keep it from moving. If you worry about this cutting your plant, you can get a little plastic straw and put over it, but it isn't necessary. I don't.
I mean,
I
if
don't
you
find
push it
is.
down too hard on the rhizome,
Yeah, you could cut it, but I don't find it necessary. Okay.
does that stay on the plant?
Stays on the plant until it begins to root and has a side, and then after that you can take it off, but most people don't bother because they don't have time. So then we find a good place to put this. This plant is really growing weird, but they don't all just grow the way you want them to. Let's find a place that we can get this in. Okay, let's try this back part. Yeah, that's good. Right back here is good. Okay, and then we're going to take this and hammer it. Okay, that's good and tight now. Now, but it looks ragged. Looks awful.
I think it looks a lot better.
Well, it looks a lot better, but not as good as it's going to look. So then we take one of these wires here. See? It has a little hook on the back there. Mm-hmm. Okay.
That's good if you want to hang them up, too.
Well, yeah. So then we take this and we hook it. Now let's pick a place that we want to put this. Look at the
Will that
plant
make it
now.
tip,
we want
kind
it.
of?
We want to tie the plant up. So let's look and see what the best place to put this would be. Let's try right here. Okay.
You hook the one.
So I'm going to take this wrong way. Okay, take this and stick it into the pot like that. Okay. Now, take and tie a wire to the, like this, okay?
Okay.
And then we take it and pull this back like this. Don't be afraid, it won't hurt it. Try to put it up here. Okay.
Is this mostly to make the plant look nicer, or will it help it grow better?
Both, because then it won't touch the plant next to it, because most of your diseases are carried by water droplets.
Oh, if the plants are too close?
That's right. Okay.
Now, will it, wiring it like that, will it make the plant grow like that properly, and then you could take the wires off later? Or it'll just
Not
flop down
usually.
again? You
Not
have to keep
usually.
it wired?
Yeah. And when you get new growth, you don't want to wire it so that it's tight. What I generally do is, let's pretend that this is a new lead and it's very soft and it's still in the growing stages. What I do is I make a sling like this. I take it and tie it like this and just kind of make a sling out of it so that it has room to grow.
Just very softly.
Right. See? So I call it a little sling. Okay?
Okay.
Not tight, just enough to keep it from growing. It'll be a lot
flopping
easier.
down.
Yeah, a lot easier if this is a new growth. Okay. And that's pretty much what you have to do. Now, does that look better?
Well, I think it feels much better.
Okay.
It's talking.
Okay. Now you want to do one. Okay. Let's put him away from here. All right. He's fine now. Okay. I'm not even going to say anything.
I'm on my own?
You're on your own. Good.
About that?
That's good.
Okay. Now we decide the eye was over here. Well, I did this part before by myself.
I had a little man in my class one time, and he never could get that thing right. He's always burying. And I told him one day, I said, "You're not planting geraniums now. You're planting orchids. You can't bury those roots like that." He'd come over. He was so proud. He'd show me his little plant.
Buried.
Huh? No,
Buried?
No, yeah, it was all buried, like a.
Well, now, like some of them, the rhizomes go lower than
Well,
others. If
you know,
some of
it's
them
very
get buried,
difficult when you have a plant that's been growing so wildly for so long. That's another reason.
So if you
don't
keep
want-
up with your plants,
If you keep
it's
up
much
with your plant,
easier
yes,
to
much
to pot
easier,
them.
much easier.
Well, from now on,
Okay.
these will always be beautiful from
I
now
know they
on.
will.
This will never happen again.
I know it. Okay.
But they are forgiving.
Yeah, that's one thing about orchids. They really are very
I can
forgiving.
prove that.
Orchids are, people have an impression of a very dainty, delicate thing. Well, they're not. I mean, they can take so much abuse. It's absolutely amazing how they grow after what we've done to them. Because these, you know, you can put these on trees.
I
If
have,
you live in a
I have a
climate
few
that's-
outside.
And they can
do
go in little
anything to them.
baskets and all. But most people like to
next
have
to
them in
clips,
pots
right?
because they can bring them in the house and display them and things like that.
Think about here. That's a good spot.
That's a good spot. Yeah.
Oh, I chose the right spot.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Very good. Very good. Okay. That's fine. It's good and
And the
immobile.
tag, so I don't forget, because I have
All right.
done that before.
Any way you want to do it is fine.
Forgotten.
You learn your own method. See?
Do they hang pretty straight with this, or do
Not
they
really.
tend
This
to
is-
tip
this
them?
is to tie it to mostly.
Oh, okay. So you don't usually
If you
hang
want
yours
to, yeah,
like
if you
a
want to,
hook?
if you want to hang them so that they stay nice, this is the kind you get
That's
double
better.
wire.
Okay.
But what we've got
This
here
is to
now
wire
is
them up.
just to wire them up.
But this one doesn't seem to be as droopy as the other one.
No, this is not going to be as hard to do. Okay,
Well, I'm glad I'm doing it.
that's right.
Save the easy one for me.
Right. Well, you're a novice. It's okay.
I'm a novice, that's right. You're a pro.
You got plenty of wire?
Yeah.
Let's start with tie it. Right, no, tie it. That's right.
To here.
Just a little. See, just a little bit, just enough to keep it on there.
Okay.
See, make it as long as possible. Now you can buy this wire in rolls so that it'll be as long as you need.
It's coated, I see.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's better for the plant.
Let's take this one first.
That one first,
Yeah,
okay.
let's do that.
Oh, and you just really pull it
Right.
right up
yes, you really pull it right up there. And if it's long enough, we can even do one from the back too.
Okay.
Like that. And move that one there maybe. No, not quite.
there.
Okay.
Not long enough.
No, okay. Okay. You know, when you start a new collection of orchids, these things don't bloom but once a year. And it's kind of discouraging to buy a plant, see it flower, and then don't see it flower again for a whole year. So I always tell the new people, buy one orchid in bloom every month. And normally, they will flower the same time each year. So that rather than looking at 12 plants with greenery on them, you're looking at least a flower till you can get to the point where you want to. And don't start with a great big collection. Don't buy a lot of plants because you're going to lose them. So just buy a few, play with them, learn how to grow them, and then you can go into getting more plants. I know it's hard. I tell you, even as long as I've been growing orchids, every time I see a plant, I want it. I don't care what it is, I need to have it. I can't live without it.
I think
know?
you have enough.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you think, wouldn't
Never
you think
enough,
so?
right?
Yeah.
Never enough. There's always something new.
Yeah, there was something I have to have. Can't live without. Let's just take these and tie these. I'm just helping you to get
Oh,
finished
thank
here.
you,
Okay,
yeah.
you're welcome. All right, now.
Well, I think
What do you
they
think?
look much better.
So now what we have here, let's go now. Let's just do this again. First thing we do is
tags, yeah.
we take the plant out. We make sure that we cut all the dead roots out. If we decide to divide the plant, we decide where we want to divide it. In this case, it was done for us. It was already done. If it hadn't been, we would have cut it right there anyway. And we take the plant and decide what media we're going to use, and that's another thing too. Whatever you decide to use, stick with it. Don't have one plant in sphagnum, one plant in tree fern, one plant in this mix. Whatever you decide to use it together, because each thing retains a different amount of moisture. So you're having a problem with some being too wet and some being too dry.
Right.
Okay. Now, we decided what? These here, we don't know if they're going to live or not, but what we'll just do is tie a label on them and hang them up somewhere. Take a wire, just any place at all. And they may put out a new eye, and they may not. If they do, fine, we have a new plant. If they don't, we haven't lost anything. Okay? All right. All right, Louise, I think we've given them enough information now so they can go back and do their cattleyas. And if they have a problem, they know where to get information. Local Orchid Society, Cooperative Extension Service, AOS,
Right.
Friends. So until then, get growing.